Poet and Ponder, and I'm back with another video. Please come and thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I go live or I do uploads. Yo, y'all already know, you see what this, well, you see what's in the title. Cardi B, let me tell you something, right? This is my opinion. The girl got an issue with black women. The fact that, you know, this whole thing is surfacing now with Cardi having to go to trial. She's going to, her trial starts on August 11th in regards to this OBGYN office situation out there in California, right? Well, for some reason I had to refresh myself, like, you know, refresh my memory on it or whatever. So I started reading like old articles or whatever, and it was a girl named Imani Ellis. Yo, Cardi B does not have any, she don't even, I personally don't think she like black women. I think that she tolerates black women. I think that she uses black women, especially the Star Brim and the people, the affiliates, for protection. But she don't got no love for y'all, and especially after she dropped that outside anthem for y'all, for the hood rats, for the hood rat black women, or across the board, and y'all let her down and it flopped out. So she definitely ain't feeling you right now. But listen, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I just feel I feel a certain type of way in regards to, you know, what's going on with this case. So make sure that you thumbs up this video, subscribe, and all of that. But let's get into it. So, you know, the situation that happened out there in California. Cardi B was 4 months pregnant, and the security guard, you know how, listen, a lot of people get starstruck. Me personally, I don't know why a person would be excited that Cardi B was there, right? But, you know, it's a lot of these Love and Hip Hop reality show fan stands, and they probably seen her out there and she was on the phone. So allegedly, Cardi B was like, you know, overhearing the girl on the phone telling other people that Cardi B was up there, and she was upset. Allegedly, she was upset because she said that she was with child and she was trying to hide it from the public or whatever, right? She didn't want people to know. Now, I personally think that she was doing that so that she could go up to the Saturday SNL or whatever and then reveal her pregnancy. Well, anyway, what happened is the woman stated that Cardi B started like wailing on her or whatever, and, you know, caused bodily harm, affected her emotion, her nervous system, and all of that. And she's suing Cardi B. Is it for like $600,000 or whatever, right? Now, Cardi B did make statements around the time, and I find this so funny that around the time, you see what's in the title of this video, right? The woman, I'm assuming Imani, because when I think I found a photo of her with a lawyer. I don't know if that was just a photo that somebody used, but I'm assuming, and I feel 100% that the girl is black based on Cardi B's comments. Because Cardi was like, in an article that I read, it was like, Cardi was just like, you know, the girl's gonna say that I called her racial slurs, and, you know, she was like, why would I call her racial slurs when she looked Latino or whatever? Listen, that was just publicist push right there, in my opinion, because she want to clean it up, because she knows that she's been on you know, she's been on record saying nasty things to black women, mostly. You know, she love that black peen. She love the black peen. She gotta get the black peen in the, you know, in the meat market, in her mouth, and all of that, wherever else she like it, right? She got to do the mattress mambo with the black men. But listen, I told my friends about this years ago. When it comes to people racially ambiguous, white, I've noticed it. Now, there are some racially ambiguous and some white women who love black women. They got best friends. They go off, you know, they do their thing. But there's some who they only like the black peen, and they just tolerate your ass. They don't really care about you because they honestly threatened by you. Cardi, basic in her community. She come over here and think that she foreign, that she's like, exotic or whatever. And, you know, the Nick bag sellers or the cheesy cheese doodle finger Negroes pick her up and make her feel special. But anyway, right? So this woman said that, you know, Cardi B refuted it, saying that, you know, she didn't call this woman any racial slurs, and how people been trying to say that about her lately, you know, trying to stick it to her. I think that it's some truth to it, because you called a woman's child a dead monkey. Like, and see, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that this lawsuit is coming back up, it just brings back old memories, right? In regards to what she did, the type of human being that she is, right? Offset sinking his peen up in other girls. You had these women attacked and all of that in that club, and she pled not guilty, but, you know, she did get charged or whatever. She had to do like community service and all of that, right? But the thing about it is with this judge, what I'm reading from this case, the woman Imani Ellis, I guess her lawyer, whatever, they can't bring up any of Cardi B's past, right? And I researched that too, as far as like why they can't do it. They can't bring up anything about her prior cases, her behaviors, like, you know, things she was charged with. Can't bring up any of her gang related activity, even though Cardi denies it, but she's quick to say brim and all of that, right? The woman can't bring any of that up. Now, listen, right? I also looked up some other things too. I said, why do certain people get away with being able to hide their past, and others have to, reveal their past, or their past gets brought in front of the jury, and it's all about money and power, and the lawyer. So I think that Cardi B, especially within I feel like it should be some sort of stipulation as far as years, because I feel like all of the patterns of Cardi B's behavior is relevant to, that incident right there. If she was 4 months pregnant and she really did that, now, listen, Cardi did say that she wished it was a camera there that night or whatever. She wished it was a camera there so that it could show what really happened. But I just want to say to y'all that I think the reason why I get so disgusted with this, because I cover Cardi and I see how the black women act in the comments. Just like today, when that video with Ra Ali posted and exposed that she recently ran into Cardi after all these years, after taking her to Pound Town, after all these years. She ran into Cardi, and I guess it was some sort of steam or smoke or whatever, but she cut the video, so I didn't get to see the rest of it. But the thing about it is that Cardi, her hate and disdain for black women, it goes to Nicki. She really thought that she was gonna come in this industry and that people was gonna, boost her up and put her in a position, and she was gonna take her out as a black woman. She told her, listen, she don't have no regard. She told that black woman, I think that right there is what sealed the deal for me. Telling that black woman's child that your son died because you was on drugs and the dead monkey and all of that. That, to me, you can't recover from that. You can't, right? But I want to talk about this case. I said, why does it seem like, and I put this into Chat GPT, and use your Chat GPT for certain things. I said, why does it seem like certain people get past exclusions, while others get their past excluded, while others get their characters assassinated? Is this about money and power? I believe a person's past shows history and related behaviors. And they said you are raising real and important questions that hits the heart, right? Now, I do know that certain reasons why they don't want to bring a person's past in front of a jury is because they could have bias, right? So why are past actions often excluded, right? So they say you can't bring up a person's past crimes or character flaws just to show that they're a bad person. When I think that you should be able to, because if she did that, if you did it then you probably do it again. All right. So this is to prevent jury bias, where the jury might punish someone not for what they're on trial for, but for who they were or who they are before. Right. And it said this is rooted in equality under the law, and the idea when someone with a bad past can be innocent in a particular case. And I get that, right? Because, a lot of times, a person could be innocent and they could just have a bad rep, right? I get it. And so it said this, right? So why does it feel selective? You're not wrong. ChatGPT is telling me you're not wrong. It can feel very inconsistent. And I know that it's very inconsistent, and it's all about money. So it says factor, money and legal team. Right? Cardi B. Wealthy defendants can hire lawyers who fight hard to keep out damaging information. Poorer defendants often get overworked with public defenders. So it's like, you got a public defender. It ain't but so much that they're going to do. They ain't going to jump through the group and go through the rigmarole to get, your past and all of that, scratched from the case. But Cardi, she got the money. She want to make sure that they ain't going to be able to bring up her stripper past, bring up the past when she was in the damn strip club, or her gang related affiliations and all of that, because that paints a picture to who she really is. She's still that type of girl, in my opinion. This is my opinion, right? So public image media. So celebrities and public figures often get protected narratives, but if the press runs wild, character assassination becomes public record at the trial. So even though we all know that she was a former stripper hoe, didn't she say she was drugging and robbing men and doing the mattress mambo? I feel she was doing the mattress mambo, because you don't just say that you drug and rob men and you ain't going to the hotel and you ain't do nothing with some of them. That's why I told y'all during the time when she was trying to rewrite history, saying like, oh, I was a one she's a one guy type of girl. She said that she went from her ex-boyfriend that got locked up to Offset or whatever, right? Listen, all of the girls who I know who participated in some sort of strip club run in New York, they was dealing with dudes too. She tried to make it seem like, oh, I just went to here to there. Like, she went from what's that guy named Tony, whatever his name is, to him to Offset, and now she with Stefan. Like, come on. You was drugging and robbing men. You was in that whole culture of the whole strip club. I know that listen, I personally feel that she went to the hotels, and the hoes is going to tell at the hotel where the hotels where the hoes tell. Yeah, doing the mattress mambo and all of that. My personal opinion, right? Because look at the behaviors of a person. If a person got bad credit, what are the behaviors of a bad person? They don't repay debts. They maxed out credit cards. They, maybe they afterpay Klarna, whatever. It's a behavior system. People who run up in strip clubs and all that, unless they got a pimp and somebody standing by them, they ain't giving that panana up or whatever. They give it a panani up for the pimps, right? But the thing is, the behavior, trust me, I know loose when I see it. All right. So race and class bias. Studies show that marginalized defendants, especially Black and Latino men, are more likely to have their past weaponized against them. And this is part of the reason, just to throw this in, where they were saying that they didn't want Tory Lanez to testify in his case, or even maybe Diddy with all of his money. The type of case in RAPE, domestic violence or gang related cases, prosecutors or defense lawyers may try to bring up past behavior more aggressively. And we know that this is a civil case, but the women, I still believe that, even though it's not a criminal case, maybe that, has some truth to it where they're not able to bring up Cardi's past. But I think that they should be able to show a history of her behavior, even if the crimes are behind her. Who's to say that she's changed? You see her still online, wilding out, going crazy and all of that. High profile cases. The bigger the spotlight, the more pressure there is to use everything, especially if it gets sympathy or outrage. All right. So it says, does a person's past matter? Yes. Past behavior can sometimes show patterns or motives. The girl is evil. The girl say wicked stuff. The girl be on here on damn Twitter and Spaces talking about people getting karma. And I hate to alarm her, but you done said some of the nastiest things about people. How do you think you clear from that? How do you don't think that the way that your records and everything is performing that, in my opinion, you behind the scenes buying albums and doing all of that just to try to make your pure selves look good? I believe Cardi B is behind the scenes right now. She pushed the album out so far because, listen, let's be honest, right? Unless you have an extreme rollout, you should have just released that album after Outside, because I feel that the girl needed all of this time so she could use that debit and credit card and go extra hard and try to buy them copies of them. Listen, y'all know what I told you about the Offset situation. I can't let that die because I think that they was doing that behind the scenes. I feel that Cardi B and Offset, when his album came out, that they was using that debit and credit card going extra hard, because when Offset sold 25,000 pure the first week of that damn last album with Jealousy on it, that album plummeted to less than 1,000 pure sales the next week. That's not organic. It's not. You're not talking to no dummy. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, past behavior in regards to the court case, it shows patterns. Prior acts can be admitted to show intent, motive, a specific pattern of behavior, like serial abuse cases, lack of accident, but judges walk the fine line. If they let too much in, it turns into a character trial. So I understand why the judges don't, So anyway, as it pertains to the Cardi B situation, I think what I read is stated that it's going to be a two-phase type of trial. They're going to see first, in regards to the injuries or how the woman, Imani, stated that she was impacted or affected by Cardi. And then that's going to be the first part. And then the second part, they're going to go into damages, if she receives any money from damages or anything like that. But the basis of my video is just to show you that, has Cardi ever gotten into it with any Latino women? Has she got into it with any Dominicans, any Hispanic women, anybody from, her background? It's always Black women. And then remember when she was outside of that club in Miami and she makes statements that are blatant for some sort of, like shock. When she was like, let the Black women in. If that was a Black woman and she seen like other girls out, Dominican Black, they were like, yo, let these bitches in. Like, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even make it specific. She did that because she knows that she feels a certain type of way. I get that energy. I remember one time Cardi B sister, people was online saying certain things to Cardi or whatever, and she was like, is that racist? Is that racist? And she was talking to Black women. She's like, that sounds kind of racist. I can just imagine the conversations they have behind the scenes. But see, let me tell you something, right? They need the Black woman though. You want to know why they need her? Remember, they have the affiliation with the Star Brim, with the chick Remy who fights, and she's known for fighting and doing. They need those chicks because that's the muscle. Where's the Dominican gang mommies at? Where they at? Why you don't got none of them? But they use the black ones for their struggle. And I hope Star Brim is draining Cardi B. I hope that for life. I hope she owe her for life. Like, yo, I remember one time I got a little offended. I was watching a live, but I understand it when Star was like, yo, you can't send nobody to go get me no clothes. Like, yeah, talk to this bitch like that. Talk to her, because in my opinion, she owe you her life. She do. Cardi, listen, in my opinion, I don't give, like I said, I don't give a how much black phallus she got going in and out of the palace, in and out of the mouthpiece, all of that. I know that energy when a racially ambiguous girl is getting piped from black, but she don't really deal with the black chick like that. Like, nah, you know, she only if they could protect them. Listen, that's all I got to say. Potent, pondering, never pandering. Let me know what you think about this lawsuit with Cardi B. You know, this happened in 2018. Now she's finally going to court for the civil suit. I don't know what happened. Maybe the girl that had to afford a lawyer, or maybe they had to serve Cardi. I don't know why it took so long, but it'll be interesting to see what's going to go down. And, you know, I want to know what you think about Cardi's past being, is it admonished from the case where they can't speak on it at all? I think her past is relevant. It shows a history. Think about a person's resume. If you wanted to hire a doctor, or if you wanted to hire a project manager, or if you wanted to hire a customer service representative, you need to look at a history. Like, what is your history? You got any proof or whatever? So if a person is being accused of, you know, attacking and doing XYZ, do they have any history of attacking others or inciting any type of crimes or whatever? Listen, potent, pondering, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'll be back in a blink. Peace.